looking at the packet on page 18. Okay, we're looking at an example here of blood types, and we can see how they're coded based on where the intersections are. And it says use the Venn diagram to determine the blood type of each of the following people. So we're actually just looking to see where they're located. So Sue is located in the same region as A negative. Lisa down here is located in the same region as O positive. Alex is over here in this section, which is an A positive. And Roberto is located here, which is an AB negative. We actually aren't going to do example 2, so we're going to go ahead and skip to page 19 next. Okay, on page 19 we have a blank Venn diagram, and we have a situation described at the top. It says, a university did a survey to determine where students studied on campus. Of the 250 students surveyed, so this tells us our total. It was determined that 167 students studied in the library, 138 students studied in the cafe, and 75 students studied in both. So the first thing we need to do is we need to label our sets. So we know we have the library and the cafe. So if we want to say set A is for the library and set B is for the cafe, the place we always want to start is where the overlap is. So 75 students did both. So we're going to put that here. 75 did both. We know that the whole library circle total has to be 167. So if there's an overlap of 75, we're going to take that 167 minus the 75, and that gives us 92. So together, these are all the students that are in the library, or studied in the library at all. 92 were only in the library, 75 were both library and cafe. We're going to look at the cafe total, 138, and we're going to subtract out the overlap. So there's 63. 63 were cafe only. Now what we have to do is we have to check our numbers and see if they add up to the total. So if I take 92, 75, and 63, I get 230. So there's only 230 inside these circles. There's supposed to be 250 total. So that means that 20 students are left out here in this space. Okay, so that means we don't know where they studied. Maybe they didn't study. Okay, it wasn't the library and it wasn't the cafe. B says determine the number of students who studied in either the library or the cafe. So either place. So it doesn't matter, they could be in either location. So we actually just added that up, right? It was the 92 plus the 75 plus the 63, which gave us the 230. And let me just double check and make sure I didn't make a mistake. Yeah, 230. Determine the number of students who studied in the library but not the cafe. So that's our 92, library but not cafe. And then D, determine the number of students who studied in the cafe but not the library. That's going to be our 63. And E, determine the number of students who studied in neither the library nor the cafe. And that's the part that we wrote outside the circles, which was the 20. Okay. Next, we're going to go on to example 4. Example 4, we have a situation where we have 3 circles in our Venn diagram. We have a music teacher surveyed a total of 495, and we have a bunch of results. We always want to start off with the overlaps first, and the most overlap spot, which is this middle part, where all 3 overlap each other. It says 160 like all 3, so we're done with that one. 245 students like both rock music and heavy metal music. So that would be this location right here. I know that this total has to be 245. So I'm going to take out the 160 from that. That's already there. So that leaves me with 85. That's done. Okay. So the next one, going up my list, says 190, like both rap and heavy metal. So that's this circle or this region here. So 190 total. I already know 160 are there, so that leaves me with 30 left over for this one. And then 280, like both rap and rock, so that's this region here. I already know the 160 is here, so I'm going to do 280 minus the 160. It's going to leave me with 120. So this one is done. Now, as I work my way out, I'm going to do each individual circle. We've got heavy metal music, 295. This whole circle is supposed to be 295. So I'm going to start with the 295 and subtract out the ones I already have inside my circle. I already have 30, I already have 160, and I already have 85. That leaves me with 20 that go in this part of the circle. Okay, my total for rock music is 395. So I'm going to subtract these other three sections that I already have. I'm going to subtract the 120, subtract the 160, subtract the 85, and I've got 30. Okay, for the last section, the rap music section, our total is 320. We're going to subtract out the three numbers that we already have. Minus the 120, minus the 160, and minus the 30. It leaves me with 10. So now I have my Venn diagram filled in inside the circles. Remember we had this number at the beginning that was 495. We have to see what all these add up to so that we know how many might need to go outside the circles. So I'm going to take each one and add them up. And I got 455, so I'm just going to write that down real quick, and I'm going to make sure I didn't make a mistake and double check and add them up again. Okay, so 455. My total was supposed to be 495. So if I take that difference, that leaves me with 40 left over that go outside the circles. So those people either were surveyed and said they didn't like any of this type of music. Maybe they liked country. Maybe they don't like music at all. But whatever it is, it's not one of these three. All right, now we have questions to answer based on this Venn diagram. It says, how many students like exactly 2 of the 3 types of music? So in this picture, I'm going to erase some of my shading that I did before. Okay, in this picture, if it is exactly 2 types of music, it's going to be this section, and this section. Okay, this is a heavy metal and rap, this is rock and rap, and this is heavy metal and rock. So I want these 3 sections added up. So we're adding 30, 85, and 120 together. Okay, who likes only rock music? So rock music by itself without any of the others is 30. Like only one of the 3 types of music. So the spots where there's only one type liked is going to be the ones that are by themselves. We're going to add up the 30, the 10, and the 20. And that gives us a total of 60. Right? They like rap, but not heavy metal. So rap is this whole circle here, but it can't be heavy metal, so I'm going to cover up that part. That leaves us with only these 2 sections of the rap circle. So the 120 and the 10 make 130. Then the last one, like only 2 of the 3 types of music. This is the same as A. I'm not seeing how that's different. They like only 2 of the 3. I believe that's the same as A. I don't think that would be any different. Alright, we are going to stop the video here and go on to the table in the next video.